Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Four Corners podcast right here on the Four Corners Network. I am one of your hosts, John Punn, sitting alongside my best friend, my brother from another mother, my plutonic life partner, Kris Rex. And we got an action-packed episode for you folks. How you doing, Kris? You want to let them know what's on the agenda?
Well, today we're going to talk about Survivor Series, which happened Saturday night. We're going to talk about Survivor Series, the five matches that happened on that event. We're going to talk a hefty amount about Teddy Hart documentary that's on Peacock right now, which is produced by WWE. Me and Punn had just finished watching it together, and there's a lot to say about that. But we're gonna open up with some AEW news. We talked about Full Gear on the last episode, and the Elite made their comeback. And it seems like they've been throwing shots at CM Punk, even though Kenny Omega had made pretty much posted that, hey, we're not encouraging any hate towards anyone. Let's just stop the Elite versus CM Punk shit.
Yeah.
And then they go on TV and pretty much mock CM Punk in Chicago.
You know, that's what it is in pro wrestling, though. You know,
Yeah.
I would do the same. I think I would do the same shit. You know, me and you had a falling out. I start going in the ring and just do everything I do in the match will be.
But you're gonna post a thing on social media. Hey, I don't want you guys encouraging. Let's all just be at peace. You know, and then you go and do that. You know, that's
and then instigate. Yep. You know, I just want peace with Rex, man. You know, I don't want no problems. Then when I'm in the match, you're gonna see me hit all your moves.
Yeah, you know, and the whole biting the arm thing. It was. I mean, I don't know. I think they should just move on from it and do what WWE does. Just it didn't happen. All right, whatever. Let's just move on. You know.
Yeah.
They should just go that route.
We didn't see it.
Another thing I wanted to bring up was the Carl Anderson New Japan situation. We've been talking about this on a few of our episodes, and it seems like New Japan Pro Wrestling has known about Anderson and Gallows leaving since August.
Yeah.
So this is definitely a work. They're working with WWE, and Carl Anderson had posted a promo during the week, pretty much saying he's going to defend his belt. And it seems he's going to be working around his WWE schedule with New Japan Pro Wrestling, which leads to New Japan Pro Wrestling's biggest event is January 4th, Tokyo Dome Wrestle Kingdom. It's a tradition every year. It's their WrestleMania. And it seems like if Carl Anderson is on Wrestle Kingdom for New Japan, then they could potentially, if the rumors that I'm hearing are true, they could potentially have Pro Wrestling Noah, Stardom, AEW, Impact Wrestling, and WWE talent all on Wrestle Kingdom.
That would be fucking insane.
I mean, I think that's opening the forbidden door a little bit more. You know, that
would be fucking insane. And New Japan is the first company to have every company on their card.
Wouldn't that be some shit?
That would be some shit.
I mean, it's something to think about. It brings out the fan in me when I hear things like that. I think of 10, 12-year-old me. That's like, oh man, the dream matches that could happen. Even if it's just like one-off deals, it's like it's history. It's like that's something you want footage of. That's something you want to see. Like Shinsuke Nakamura going to Noah to wrestle Great Muta.
Yeah,
and it was cleared by not only WWE but AEW as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's starting to be some seeds planted here, and I hope again we get to where wrestling isn't about, and it's mostly with the fans that do this. Wrestling is this WWE versus AEW or this company versus this company, and bro, it's the fans that do that.
Yeah.
It really is, man. And of course, as pro wrestlers, we're gonna play into that. You know, if you're working for AEW, I'm working for WWE. We used to work on the indies together. We developed a friendship, whatever. You think I'm gonna be like, no, I want AEW to shut? No, my friend's making fucking money, bro, and I'm making money, and I'm in this company, and no, no,
It's
like,
funny.
and some fans think that there's this big fucking war going on. No,
That's the
no,
market. I get the tickets.
I
Yeah.
need the tickets. That's the
You know,
minions.
I think every company just work together.
I
Yeah,
think
that's
so too, but we know how the wrestling business is, unfortunately.
one show a year,
Where
and
everybody, I that would be dope. That would be dope.
then have a 6 7 hour card.
The thing
Pretty
is, and I've always been a bit thought about this. You know what puts ego aside? Money. Like you know what I mean. Like if we're all making money together, it doesn't matter who wins or loses. Doesn't matter. No,
No, it does because
no.
the spots. Everybody wants that top spot.
They want the spots. You can have your spot. Well,
All right, everybody wants that number one, main event spot. Wants to be the champion. Wants to be challenging for the title. So the
bro,
egos will always get in the way.
it's money, bro. Money.
Yeah, and
Ego stops you from making money.
the later you wrestle on the card, the more money you're making, and that's the problem in the business. That's why people can't work together just to get a fucking crazy show going together.
Bro, it's just sad that people can't work together like that. But let's move on to what we're mainly going to talk about. Well, most of what we're going to talk about today is Teddy Hart. Now,
You're good idol.
yes, at a time when we were backyard wrestling, I thought Teddy Hart was the shit. I loved all of his independent shit, and I mean, you don't know how the man is. You don't know. I just knew him as a wrestler that I liked, and I liked the fact that he didn't give a fuck, and that he was this talented guy. Maybe his story is true that he got fucked a lot, and all the shit that he says. I believed it, and what's crazy about this whole thing before we get into it is when I was in Florida with Bearman for WrestleMania weekend, I was at a show, and he was I believe it was the Bloodsport. First
All right.
night I was in Florida, it was Bloodsport, and he was at the bar and everything, and we had a couple drinks together, you know. And I didn't know any of this had even, I really don't pay attention to too much unless it's directly I know them directly or what. I really don't know what's going on. And this when I watched this, I was like, this is the type of guy he is. Like, wow, it changed my whole opinion on him. Upon Before we get into detail, like quick thoughts on what you saw.
It's just insane because I'm another one that didn't know much about him while we were yarding, but learned about him through you. And I like that don't give a fuck attitude. That's the attitude we have.
Yeah,
But didn't know the shit that he ended up fucking doing to the women he was with. Not just one. It's like most
multiple.
women he was with, and it's crazy. And I believe everything we heard on that, man.
Yeah,
I believe everything we heard on that.
and it all starts out as this documentary about Teddy Hart getting back into business and his cats. It was supposed to be this entertaining reality show, right? That's what it's supposed to be.
Yep.
And
Documentary.
we see Teddy Hart's lifestyle. He's living in this nice home with two beautiful girls that we're introduced to. That they seem to be swingers, and there's this party lifestyle that he lives, and um, I mean,
And like
it's something you can dive into, right? Um, and of course, Teddy Hart. You start to see that he's he's like he doesn't care about the fact that they're trying to film this documentary. He keeps having cats on him in every shot. There's a cat on him. And when the guy filming and making the show, when he said that, people don't understand that cats, they let play around with mics, and mics are expensive. It's like, yes, people, as someone who like has recorded people and everything, it's like people don't understand the little things. Like, yes, I'm telling you not to do this for a reason. Like, just please fucking listen to me. It's like, so I feel him on that, but pretty much we start to see that he's like this narcissistic person.
Right from the beginning, it seemed like there was two sides to him.
Yeah.
Especially when the camera was on.
Yeah. And he seemed to always want to control the situation when the camera was on. You know, like, and it was just like you could start to see like, okay, something's off here. Then we find out that one of the girls, Michelle, wasn't even really his girlfriend at the time. He hired her to come act as his girlfriend for the show and act like he was their partner, him and his wife Faye.
That's crazy.
And it's like, whoa, what? Like, and he's got all these students, right, that paid $2,000 to get wrestling training from him.
For him to tell them where to go to get training.
No, he had all these students living with him, and they were feeding his cats, getting his weed, going and get groceries for him, like, and
boys or girls.
And it's like he's working them, and I kind of laughed because it's like I've heard like that. To me, that like, oh, that's kind of normal to hear about in the business, like trainers do that all the fucking time, but he had these guys thinking that it was the Hart Dungeon, and that I noticed every time the catch was the Hart family name. And he really used that fucking Hart family name, and I think he kind of stomped on it with everything that's come to light about him.
He's blackballed from the family.
I'm 100%, and that's his whole thing, is he wanted to get redemption. It seems like he just kept fucking up, and it's like, it turns out that his wife and the woman he paid to act as his girlfriend for the TV show, he was keeping them hostage. Pretty much taking their documents that they would need if they wanted to leave or get on with their life. He had all their important documents. He would take their cell phones, and he would start to see the mental abuse. And
Teddy Hart tell their stories,
Yeah, and at one point it's like, okay, you kind of have to try to see both sides. Teddy Hart's playing this good guy role. No, it's innocent. They just want to use me and tarnish my name, and it's like, okay, we've heard about things like that happening, but you can't deny that, okay, there has to be some truth to this, right? There has to be something going on. And this whole time he's playing this good guy role. It turns out we start to see on camera the type of person he really is when he dates Machiko. And we start to see where they're at a restaurant one time, and he's telling her to shut up, and that he's gonna punch her in the face, he's gonna put her to sleep, she's on borrowed time, and it's like, whoa, okay, now we're starting to see this, the rape allegations that his wife and the girlfriend had put on him, and he mentally abused his people. This is mentally and physically.
Whatever he wanted. That's what it was all about. It was all to feed himself and his ego, man.
Yeah.
And he did it in such a way that no one noticed it, man. He had this personality about him that people didn't catch it.
Yeah.
People saw.
I really feel bad for the women that he did this to. And what we were talking about before we came on air is how this is the women we know of. Who knows how many other women through his lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of started doing, while watching, our own little investigating, because me and Punn, when we lived together, we would watch crime series all the time. And you kind of learn patterns, when you hear about sociopaths and rapists and abusers, and you start seeing
These are his stories.
you know, dim dim, you know, dum, 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 dum. But no, you start to see these patterns, and
Mhm.
you see like, okay, he makes it seem like they're the victims and they're wrong. Whenever he's pointed out that he's wrong in something, it's he flips it on. Oh, well, you shouldn't have done this. Like when he uh when he got into that, not into accident, but when he fucked up Machiko's car. And she was like, dude, like, I know this isn't a Maserati or anything, but shit, take care of it. And he's like, oh, so your sister, because you can't make the payments to your sister, da, da, da. And it's like, he flips everything to make them guilty. And that's one of the things I seen.
Yeah, man, it's insane the way he did that shit though. You know, he got them to fall in love and then started to abuse them right away.
Yeah. And it's like he gets everything he needs from them. He takes over their house. It seems like he takes over their life. And it's crazy that again, you start to see these signs of even in the things he starts to say, he kind of starts to snitch on himself.
Mm-hmm.
You'll never find out, you know, like, and it's like, why? Oh, there's no chance of you ever finding out what happened to him. How can you be so sure? Like, and I don't think he himself murdered her. I don't think, and I think he knows what happened and where her whereabouts are or
Mm-hmm.
were, and I think like he said, he's gonna teach her a lesson, right? You know? And he had her passport. He pretty much made it impossible for her to leave Florida.
I think he did it. They didn't know many other people.
I mean,
Like,
this is a guy that's probably met all walks of life.
yeah, he possibly could have hired somebody to help him do it, but he definitely had a hand in the murder.
And
There's no way, like she was murdered and he had nothing to do with it. There's no way he didn't participate. I just
I
don't see. I don't see that as a possibility.
I think maybe he set something up to where she could. You know, this is just again, the
Yeah,
guy has not been brought up on any charges, so we can't say he's guilty. We can't say that we could think he is. We can, but we're only speculating here. I just need to throw that out to everyone. So you know, he unfortunately there's never been any trial to
yeah.
anything. But I think he put her in a situation and knows exactly what happened. At least that much knows what
Or
happened.
where
Either he participated or knows what happened to her. And it's fucked up that he still plays this innocent role
yeah,
and is able to go and do indie shows and still wrestle and people still book him and he gets to live his life.
and people are still looking for their daughter, their friend,
Their sister, you know, it's
their mom.
heartbreaking.
It's crazy, you know.
It's
But
heartbreaking, and
I think as time goes on, shit is gonna get more brought to light, you know, especially with this coming out now. You know, I think more information will come out. Somebody knows something.
yeah,
And if nobody knows anything, then he did it on his own. He murdered her. He got rid of the body. He did everything. Because there's no way she's just gonna disappear if nobody knows nothing. You know, he had her passport. You know, so if really there's not a single person on this earth that knows anything about her disappearance, then he is the sole person that does and committed everything. But I think there has to be somebody that knows something.
we're gonna move on to some lighter news here. Is we're gonna talk about Survivor Series,
Bargain.
War Games. I think overall, before we get into all the matches, I think overall it was a decent pay per view. I like the idea of shorter matches, like
Match
instead
card.
of 8 9 matches. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do like that. I was talking to a fan of the show and a friend of ours, Mikey from Florida. And he was
What up,
talking.
Mike? How you
Yeah,
doing, Mike?
he was talking about how maybe, 6 matches is a little bit too, it is a little bit too little,
Five
five
matches.
matches, 5 matches, my bad, 5 matches, and I had brought up, well, AEW had done like 13 matches or something like that, and that's too much, and sometimes 8 or 9 matches is too much when you have, and 3 of them are good matches, like, with 5 matches, you get quality over quantity. And I'm always a quality over quantity guy. Punn knows that even with my marijuana, I've always been quality over quantity. And I think since Triple H took over, I think that seems to be the fit of, okay, let's give, instead of we have a 3-minute match, a 5-minute match, fucking have 5 to 6 matches that give them a good amount of time. Show me what you can really do now.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. And but which we'll get into. There is one thing that I'm not agreeing with, and that's the Bray Wyatt situation. I thought we would see him in some capacity. They
Yeah.
started a night storyline, and I think now this is starting to drag along too much. Same promo over and over.
Yeah, we were talking about that while actually watching the pay-per-view. And how we expected to see LA Knight versus Bray Wyatt. That was something we expected. At least some match with Bray Wyatt, right? I mean, he, like you said, on for the last month, he's been cutting the same promos, the same promo pretty much. Not a match on SmackDown at all. I
Yeah,
mean, where when are we gonna see a reveal? When are we gonna see a match at least?
yeah, it's getting played out, I would say.
Yeah.
You know, I just wanted to mention that before we go into the first match, which was the women's War Games match to
I
kick off.
didn't I didn't expect them to kick off with it.
I did. I expected them to kick off with a War Games match since there was two of them. I
Um,
did.
I, I mean, I'm not saying it wasn't bad. It was bad. I
Every
know there
match
was.
was. I think every match was good,
Mm, there
entertaining.
was one match that I really didn't enjoy watching, but we'll get to that when we get to that match.
Yeah,
But the women's War Games match was phenomenal. I said it a couple weeks ago that the way these women are when they get into these big match situations, bro, they fucking knock it out the park.
yeah,
Knock
yeah.
it out the park.
The spot they were doing,
The
the taking
the, the
bumps,
storytelling.
the storytelling, and you could tell they enjoy what they're doing. You know, it was just phenomenal way to start the show. I think
We had
all
Beck. We
did a
had
great job. Becky's Lynch return,
Yeah, Becky Lynch's return. Indeed, yeah,
officially,
official
officially.
return.
It was awesome, man. What did shock me though is Becky Lynch coming back as a face. That is kind of
For
shocking.
now, for now,
But let's see where the booking for this goes.
that's what I'm thinking. I think,
She wants the title, right? That has to be on her agenda.
yeah, I think this babyface thing is just it's not gonna last a little too long.
We
Maybe I'm wrong.
we will see,
We'll
I
see.
guess.
But again, it was chaos.
Yeah,
Nikki Cross seemed to be the queen of chaos there. And she was just enjoying everything that was happening in that fucking match. And I like the idea of I have no friends in this match. So there was certain points where she was just kicking back, watching everything, and it's just like, yeah, I love it. I love
on the
it.
top too.
Like, the second match was AJ Styles versus Finn Balor. And this was a good match. I didn't mind this being the second match, especially after a big match. I would have probably structured the card a little bit differently. We'll get to that after we review the whole show. Um, but I liked AJ Styles and Balor. It was exactly what I thought it was gonna be. I
Yeah,
liked the interference of the OC and Dominic and Damian Priest. I thought Mia Yim and Rhea Ripley would be on in their prospective stables corners, but I can understand right after a fucking War Games match that is not gonna fucking happen, especially with Mia Yim, that bump she took in with the ladder.
Word.
Ooh, she'll probably be
Word.
feeling that for a while. But yeah, AJ Styles Balor. What are your thoughts on it?
Awesome, man. Them two been friends as long as you've been alive, probably. Nah, I'm
Yeah,
kidding.
no, definitely
Friends
not.
have been,
But
them two have been friends for a long time, man, and you get to see it. You see the crispness, the chemistry that they have together. Phenomenal. That, as AJ Styles says, they are two top-notch wrestlers, bona fide Hall of Famers. No matter what they do with title reigns and shit like that, their careers are top-notch, and they're both going to be in the Hall of Fame one day.
oh,
And this,
I
and this match showed that.
I agree. A note I wanted to add is commentary extensively talked about New Japan Pro Wrestling and all of their reigns in New Japan Pro Wrestling and starting Bullet Club and NJP. I like it, and that's what started making me think more like, okay, there's definitely something.
Forbidden doors opening more and more.
It's something's happening here. Something is happening, and they mention other promotions now. I like they have that freedom. It's not somebody comes in and they've never been heard of before WWE. No, you signed them. You signed them because they have a buzz, right? Like that's what I never understood under Vince McMahon's reign.
Word.
You sign them because they're popular and they have a buzz, and then you change their name, you change their character, and you make it seem like they never existed.
Yeah, that's a Vince McMahon thing, though.
Like they popped right out of Vince McMahon's ball sack, and
He owns you.
but
You are no longer Christopher Carpenter. You are whatever Vince says you are.
this was a good match that slowed down the pace just a little bit. The third match we got was the women's match. Was the women's championship match, the SmackDown Women's Championship match between Ronda Rousey and Shotzi. I was not a fan of this match. It was very sloppy. This match, very sloppy.
It was. Shotzi's not ready for that.
I don't think Ronda.
Ronda's barely ready.
Yeah, exactly. But it was what it was. I think instead of having that match, maybe they should have put on in some way, whether it was a women's or a men's traditional 5-on-5 Survivor Series. That's missing from Survivor Series. The traditional 5-on-5 Survivor Series match is missing. Yep. I don't care what they did. Who was it? Give me a fucking Survivor Series match at Survivor Series.
Put random ass people together, man.
Do something.
Word, man.
I think that would have been a better match to put on than the women's. And I'm not trying to disrespect them at all. But to not have a Survivor Series match at Survivor Series, and you have a 5-match card, or even if keep the women's match on there. I would have put that maybe, I don't know. I would maybe put that second, first, second, like something like that, and then between the U.S. title match and the men's had the traditional, that I think that would have been a little bit better.
Yeah, for sure.
But we had the U.S. title match, which I am shocked. Me too.
I didn't think Austin Theory was getting it just yet after dropping the gimmick, but I guess Triple H sees something that Vince saw also, and I guess H wanted to book this his way.
I don't think it's that. I think
had him lose everything and put the U.S. title on him his way.
But here's the thing. Yes, he did that, and I've been talking about that for a while. I've been saying that for a while. You got to break him down, and okay, you did that, and then boom, he got the belt. I'm not saying I don't want to see him with the belt, but I wanted to see that climb to it.
Definitely too soon.
I do like the finish how it went.
Like that with Bray Wyatt.
I do like the finish of the match on how he strategically rolled over on Rollins. It can remind me of something Edge would do.
Yep.
But now it's like he won the belt, but did you really win the belt? Did you really win the belt?
This is going to continue for a couple of more months for sure. All three of them.
Yeah. I like the look that Bobby Lashley and Seth Rollins were giving each other. Like, yo, man, see, you fucked it up, man. Oh, you fucked it up. Like, they were both, like, kind of looking at each other, but you could see they were blaming each other, kind of, without even saying it. I like the story to that. Let's see what happens with Austin Theory.
Yep.
Um, I guess Triple H, it thought it was time for him to get the U.S. belt. I would have liked a little bit more of a chase. Again, you broke him down. Don't give him back. Don't give it back to him. Don't give him the shot again. Give it.
Right.
Especially for the belt that he lost the Money in the Bank for. Just only a few weeks ago.
Yeah, you're right.
Up next,
yep,
we had the men's War Games match.
The main event.
Yes. And this was, we had a little story going in here with Sami Zayn. Punn, why don't you explain Sami Zayn and being the unknown factor in the match?
Sami Zayn has to prove his loyalty to the bloodline. He has to prove that he acknowledges Roman Reigns. Jay was on the other side of the door, heard his little conversation with Kevin Owens, told Roman, and, Sami Zayn told the truth when confronted by Roman about it. So that was interesting.
I like that though, bro. For the fact that it kind of adds suspense into the match. Like, wait,
he told
even though he told the truth, he could still do it. Like, I'm telling you the truth, but that doesn't mean I'm not doing it.
And I like the match. The match was great.
I like how he sent out Sammy first.
No, Jay went first and then Sammy.
Jay, oh my bad. Jay went first. You're right.
He said make sure Sammy has Jay's back. And I like the way they booked the match, and Sammy did. He fucking had their backs. He did things to show his loyalty, and he's with the bloodline.
I like the finish with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. How when after he low blowed him, he gave him the haluva kick, and the way he fell on him, and it was like, and that was the betrayal right there. I don't think anything was showing the betrayal, but when he's on him, he's in his arms, and he just looks and just dumps him on the floor. It's like that last moment of save me, and it's like, fuck you, like fuck all these years of friendship, like boom. I think that was the it's things like that in wrestling that I love. Is they didn't have to speak. You've seen it. He fell into his best friend's arms, and he's just betrayal. Boom.
Awesome. I loved it.
Betrayal for loyalty.
It is the best thing going for WWE right now, and they got to keep running with him.
Yes, but I do think they foreshadowed what's gonna happen to Sami Zayn. I think Kevin Owens was when he talked about on SmackDown, hey, you better betray them before they betray you.
And since he didn't betray them, they're going to turn on him anyway.
I still think Sammy's going to come out
first right here on the Four Corners Network by Kris Rex.
Well, I've been saying it almost every week. Sami Zayn is going to turn out to be the biggest babyface after all of this is done. Sammy's going to be the biggest babyface.
Absolutely right.
Overall, like I said, I did say some complaining online about the card, and I'm like, I don't think it was a bad card, except that women's match. Yeah, maybe that match could have been better. Again, I've had bad matches, so I'm just saying maybe they had an off night, but that match was probably maybe not the best match of the card.
Yeah.
But overall, it was a good card. I think the matches were great. I think the quality of 4 out of the 5 matches were great.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
It's crazy how fans they can't enjoy the product. It's like you're watching it and it's like every show sucks. No, not every pay-per-view sucks. Yes, there was a time when almost every pay-per-view sucks. But there has never been a time where every single pay-per-view sucked. You can't tell me a time in wrestling, in WWE's history, where in every year, every pay-per-view sucked. No.
No.
There was always at least 1, 2, 3 pay-per-views that would. So you can't tell me everything fucking sucks. All right, and this pay-per-view did not suck. The last few pay-per-views have not sucked. Yes.
No.
Could we have seen Bray Wyatt on this?
Yeah.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes. Could we have seen the 5-on-5 match? Sure. Could have seen that. Could it have been reordered? Sure. Could it have been 8 matches? Sure. But that's not what we got. We got 6 matches that I think were quality fucking matches.
5.
My bad, 5. I keep saying 6 because that's my formula for wrestling is 6 fucking matches. But no, the 5 matches were great. Well, 4 out of the 5 matches were great. Especially the women. The women's War Games killed it. The men killed it. And overall, it was a great show.
Agreed.
Again, while we were watching, we had different commercials.
I guess that happens with everybody, I guess. I can imagine if we watched it with different people.
Yeah.
How different commercials people probably had.
There was also times where we lagged a little bit, where I started out when I was on the computer, I was ahead of you. Then when I switched to the TV, you were ahead of me, and then my TV went off by itself. I turned my TV back on, and I'm ahead of you.
No, we were.
Oh no, we were at the same time, and then I started, and then I was ahead of you, and so I guess that's just like networks and how streaming and so many people, I guess, being watching at the same time.
Also where you're located at too.
Yeah, I'm out in the fucking sticks, so. But Survivor Series War Games again, great card. And give us your thoughts on the card. Give us your thoughts on what you think's gonna happen on Raw. Usually after pay-per-views, the Raw after pay-per-views are
decent.
They've been good lately. Especially the one after Elimination Chamber. That one was great. I don't think Triple H is done with the returns. I don't think Triple H is done with the surprises. And on SmackDown, I want to see something with Bray Wyatt. A match. Give me something other than a promo.
Major occur.
Yeah. Yes. If you're going to do a promo, do a reveal. Give me a match. Let me see him fucking beat someone up after a match. Or
I want something major in the storyline.
Yeah. On behalf of myself and John Punn, I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning into the Four Corners podcast on the Four Corners Network. And if you want to stay updated on everything we're doing, we do have some pretty big news that we'll be announcing on December 20th. Find us at Four Corners Network, above Punn's head, at Four Corners Net on all social media platforms. That's at number 4 Corners Net. You can find all of our episodes of Territory Talk, the Four Corners podcast, and you'll be finding other stuff you'll be seeing soon in the new year as the new year comes. You can find me on all social media platforms at Rex Wrestles. That's at REX Wrestles. Punn, let them know where they can find you.
Same thing at all those social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at John Punn, JON, no H. PUNN, 2 N's. Yeah, that's about it, guys.
Again, on behalf of me and John Punn, thank you for tuning in. And as always, be excellent to each other and keep supporting pro wrestling.